You know, I was streaming the trailer stuff last night. Check me out at, I guess the channel you're watching, but you know, sometimes I go live. Anyway, not the point. Apparently, chat members were getting these AI generated summaries of the chat, and it's really weird how scarily accurate it is because this kind of just describes every single Faye banner at this point. Cool stuff, YouTube. Thank you, thank you. Hello, it's me, the hype man for Faye, and I gotta tell you what to be hype about. I gotta be hyperactive and not sound like I want to jump off a bridge every time I open up this game. Yeah, we got summer units and they do things, and I'm going to tell you those things unless you've already heard it from, I guess, these people. But I mean, I'm going to tell you them too, so you should watch my video and subscribe. And I guess, yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, it's cool seeing a lot of new banners like this because they end up adding a bunch of stuff that looks really good because it has a lot of text. And it turns out it is really good because it has a lot of text. Like, looking at Nerus, for example, it has like 4 paragraphs worth, like a whole writing assignment's worth of stuff in the weapon and the B slot alone. And there are like 2 really cool things to highlight about this unit. And no, it's not a boob joke. Those are going to come later. The first thing is the fact that she has support! Yay! Yay! Woo! Yay! Nerus will get damage reduction piercing on her specials, but she also gives it out to allies if they're close enough, which is really cool. It means your bow units no longer have to run Deadeye. They can run Better Eye, I guess. I don't know what bows use. And the daggers, well, they don't have to use lethality anymore. It's still a really cool special, though. I'd probably keep it anyway. But yeah, they don't have to run it. And I guess other units too, but I mean, who really cares about them? I kind of just want to talk about daggers. You know, Volk is kind of like a really cool unit. What was the other thing? The other thing was that inheritable C slot she has. I know there's other stuff in her weapon and her B slot, but I mean, I'm the relatable YouTuber right here, right? I don't read any of this. Who reads face skills? Am I right? But that C slot, right? You remember when stuff had conditions and actually had some level of thinking? And I know that sounds really foreign to anybody playing this now, but back then, you had to work for Spectrum 4 if you really wanted those stats. This, you just stand and you shit it all out, and it just works because you exist. And it's funny. It is kind of funny, but I mean, it's kind of also telling of their philosophy when it comes to designing skills. I'm not one to criticize IS. Sorry, they mentioned it on a Twitter post that most people aren't going to see because it's not through the in-game notifications. Amazing. Thank you, IS. New heroes banners are more or less just seasonal at this point because, you know, they're both limited and they have the same rarity, but yeah, they sure love keeping the 4-star pool full of shit. Even if the 5-stars are bad in time, they'll just remove them anyway. And that's on top of the fact that they already suck a massive chode. You know, you have the 5-star, which has a really good PRF and have like 50 bajillion effects and like Spectrum 20 and whatever. And what you have is like instant demote the fuckhead, reversal blade, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. Oh, you just gotta summon for the new stuff and you gotta merge it. And a lot of the times, because of skill creep, there's a lot of stuff that you probably don't want to merge. But you know, too bad. But I gotta say, this, I mean, it's kind of funny. I don't know. It's inheritable, so I guess you could give it to any beast, because it says beast threaten. It doesn't say sword threaten 3. I don't fucking know. You know, at the very least, you know, she might be able to beat Hector. Is he still relevant? I actually don't think he is, but, you know, she could beat him if you're still struggling there. Also, Fallen Edelgard, she's a pretty good counter to that, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I would totally recommend picking her up if you need something against that. You can also pick up pretty much anybody here, I guess, because I think everybody just kind of counters all of them at this point. You have Cred, I guess. He's the final member of the Niffle crew. I'm never making that noise again. He does stuff in his weapon that I don't really give a shit about, to be quite honest. It's that B slot that I also don't really give a shit about, but not entirely, but he has this frozen effect, which is really funny because it basically inflicts a Wyvern Rift on all the foes, but then also it lowers the check necessary to make a guaranteed follow-up. It's like a super roided out Diamant post Lagu's friend, because when Diamant came out, he was bad, like really bad. Like really, really, really bad. Anyway, he inflicts this and it's really cool. You get it? Because, well, it's frozen. You get it? you know, like ice. You know, like it freezes. Like, you know, it's cool. It's called a joke. Oh, you know what else is cool? You get it? Because, I mean, I said cool earlier. Anyway, he also has Wave 4, which, you know, the funniest thing about these types of upgrades we've been getting as of late is, like, they barely resemble, if they don't resemble the original skill at all. And it's like, oh, well, here's a bunch of crazy broken stuff in the skill, and it has nothing to do with its predecessor. And then here's, like, some really mediocre thing that you also get out of it from the original condition. And that's like every tier 4 skill nowadays, I swear. Okay, maybe not all of them, but some of them for sure. Some of them for sure. Still kind of funny looking at this one though, because it just has full tempo on it. And it's a defense check for it. Am I wrong in thinking that's like really good actually? You know, Takumi good, you know, Hector good. Like, that's really good. Probably not like a Reinhardt good, but, you know, it's good at least. They have another one with, like, no follow-up, but that's a spoiler thing, I guess. I mean, assuming you didn't know anything. Oops. What else? I mean, there was Olivia. She's a D-mount, and she looks cool. That one's not a pun, unfortunately, because she doesn't have any ice-related things in there. But, I mean, I guess there's not really anything to say on it. She's a dancer. And I guess you also have Gulvaig, and she has 4 really cool things about her. And, you know, this is where I would insert that boob joke I talked about earlier, but unfortunately I don't think I have anything funny to say. She could Gale Force like 4 times though. She initiates and then she initiates, right? But then she gets another one from her special, and then button off, that's a 4th one. But then she also does like all these other things, which is really cool, including that. Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? I think that's pretty good. Having the ability to move like 4 times is good. I don't have a follow-up point. I thought I was just going to argue something if I like thought of anything, but yeah, no, she's just good, I guess. If you need somebody to Gale Force, then go ahead. She's probably the equivalent of beating a horse to death after it's died and disintegrated and you've already beaten its bones to death. That's pretty much Aether Raids, and she kind of just does the same thing like the last 100 units have done. So I guess if anything, if you summon for her, you endorse killing horses. Otherwise, I mean, you have the wave skill, and it's the same thing as the other wave skill, but it's no follow-up, which is pretty cool, because you can kind of give this to, like, any unit that doesn't necessarily have as easy access to it, I guess, which is, you know, a lot of flyers and a lot of cabs that don't have access to the likes of flows or anything of the sort. Not too shabby. I guess besides that, though, I mean, there's Vake. He's generic as expected. The weapon is really good because it has tempo in it, which means you don't need odd defense wave, which means summoning on this banner kind of sucks. And I probably wouldn't recommend it because that's like one of many things on the banner, but anything to invalidate summoning on any banner is fine by me. So, yeah, we already get Vake for free. What else do you need? Also, this means we have every playable Awakening character in the game. So, I mean, I guess that means Awakening is... I don't know what that actually means, but yeah, they did it. Cool, congrats. We have this weird beast transformation seal, or at least I'm assuming it's transformation because it does not specify anything. And I mean, that's like the only conclusion I could come to because I'm very simple-minded. I have a one pathway to kind of piecing all these things together. If it is though, and we're assuming it is, that would be really, really good, unironically, for the armors and I guess the flyers, because that would mean you have permanent 3 movements for anything you really want to throw around, which I kind of dig. But I mean, otherwise it's like, yeah, it's a banner and it has stuff you could summon for, but should you summon on it? I don't know. Am I gonna summon on it? I don't know. In conclusion, well, I mean, it's Fae. There's not really much to conclude, so to speak. Somewhat, maybe, potentially, buzzwords, big words that make me sound smarter than I really am, humongous words, ginormous words. The most I can say is they're not my orbs. I don't really care what you do.